Hi, my name is Nat Ciccone. I'm part of the South Field Sales team, and I've been with the company for 8 weeks now.
So what was the date of your Academy course?
We started on June the 27th and it ran through to the 31st, the course I was on.
And, if you don't mind, how much LTR and earnings have you made so far?
Well, sure. LTR is 22,800 to present, with quite a bit more ready to sign. So yeah, that's in 8 weeks.
Fantastic. And how did you find the Field Sales Academy course?
Definitely challenging, a lot to learn, but certainly came away feeling that I had the information to be able to do the job. So
Good.
yeah, it was also enjoyable as well, so we had a lot of fun, so that was good.
And what was your goal when you left the Academy course? What did you want to achieve when you left it?
I suppose I had a short-term goal, just getting my first sale, but also my long-term goal is to obviously get an income of over £10,000 a month, so I realise I'm going to need to work at that and build that as I go. But yeah, those are my two primary goals really coming off the course.
And are you confident that you're going to achieve those?
Oh yeah, without question. It might take me a year and a half, but yeah, I'll certainly build an income to that level.
Okay, what's the first thing that you did when you left the Academy course then? What was your plan the day you left?
I went to do a gig for the Mayor of Reigate and Banstead. So I was singing for a dinner dance with my swing band. But no, for work, I had a friend of mine who has a pub, and I went to speak to him about signing up for payment sets, and he did go ahead. So that was my first deal.
Okay, and that was the next day, was it?
No, it wasn't the next day.
Right.
It was we came off the course on the Friday. That was on the Monday. So yeah.
Brilliant. How many cold calls do you do on average each day?
It depends on the sort of response I'm getting, but definitely between 20 and 30 cold calls to get myself into a position where I've got 2 or 3 appointments, and possibly occasionally do walk across a sale as well there and then. But yeah, 20 to 30 cold calls a day.
And out of those cold calls, how many business owners do you actually get to see?
It's probably the most difficult part of the job, is getting in front of the business owner. If it's a smaller business, they'll very often be the one behind the till. But particularly being the summer months that I started, a lot of business owners are away. I was making appointments to come back and see those business owners on a regular basis. So, yeah.
Did you have any warm leads coming off the course?
No, not really. What I was doing is working on an old customer bank, so from previous sales roles that I've done, business to business level, and going back to see those business owners that I knew. So yeah.
Okay. How many docs in have you had in the past 8 weeks?
I think it's 21 now, docs in. So yeah.
And is that all face-to-face chip and pin, or do you have moto and e-com included in that?
Yeah, that's moto and e-commerce. There is one very large e-commerce included in that, but yes, it does include moto sales as well.
Great. So how many accounts have you got that have gone live now?
So out of the 21, it's 17 accounts that are live and installed. So, but I'm due to go back tomorrow and also on Monday to fit a couple of others as well.
How do you find the installation process?
At first it was a little bit daunting, but now it's pretty straightforward, to be fair. And you've always got sales support there if you need them to help you. So yeah, it's fairly straightforward.
And do you find sales support have been very useful?
Oh yeah, definitely. They've probably got fed up with me calling them, but I do call them on a regular basis. Yeah.
Good. What was the most challenging part when you left the course, and how did you overcome this?
I think probably it's actually getting in front of business owners, but essentially what I've been doing is appointing to go back and see those business owners, and then obviously calling them when I'm on the way to an appointment to make sure that they're there, and if they are not available for any other reason, reappointing it again. So it's just continuing to make contact with business owners. That's been the most challenging part really, but apart from that it's been fine. Yeah.
Okay. Do you find that diary management is quite important?
Very much so. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because obviously you've got your appointments to actually go out and sell, but you've got to go and fit those machines as well. So making sure that your appointments are in a similar sort of place to where you're fitting your machines, it's going to be important to make sure you're maximising your time in the field for sure.
Good. And how many hours do you work per day and per week on average?
So when I work 9 to 5, but really I'm doing 4 days a week at the minute, so it's about 35, 36 hours a week that I'm working.
And do you have any, you said 9 to 5 is your normal structure,
Yeah.
do you find you have to adjust that according to the business type at all?
Yeah, I mean, obviously some businesses are not 9 to 5, but I think the majority of business owners like to see you, if for example, if the business is a kebab house, for example, and they're really not starting to do business till after 5 o'clock, the business owner will still want to see you during the day so that you're not catching them at a busy time when they're really dealing with customers. So most of the time it does tend to be 9 to 5, and if not, there's been the occasional telephone call or certainly emails that I've needed to send outside of those times, but yeah, majority of the time 9 to 5.
And in terms of your sales pitch and your sales structure, is there a certain format that you follow?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, certainly coming off the course, there were some really key things that we were taught that really helped with the initial approach, and I've certainly been using those to make sure that I create the right emotion going in to grab the business owner's attention, and obviously get them on track in terms of what I want to tell them. So, yeah.
Good. Is there anything sort of specifically that stands out in your mind at the moment?
I suppose it depends. It depends on the business owner, but I try the opener when I'm actually going. I've introduced myself. I've gone in, spoken to the business owner. I will then ask them, are you aware that 50% of business owners are actually paying a fine with their bank on their payment card machine, and they don't even realise it? And a lot of them will say, "Oh, no, I didn't know about this. What are you talking about? I can prove it. Show me your bill, and we'll show you where those fines are and any other hidden charges, and I'll help you get rid of them." So that'll be an opener. But if that business owner has already had or already aware of the PCI non-compliance fines, then obviously I'll use another approach. With Brexit, for example, banks are looking to put the rates up because obviously the Bank of England have put the base rate down. They can't make money on lending. They've got to make up for that shortfall by putting the rates up elsewhere. So again, it's looking at trying to create that correct emotion in that business owner to grab their attention. Yeah.
Okay, good. And do you find that they have their statements available for you there and then?
Very often, yeah, they'll have it in store. If not, they'll be able to access it through an internet portal usually, so they'll be able to get it online. But there's only probably been about sort of 2 or 3 occasions where they actually keep it with their accountant or it's off-site, but most of the time, yeah, it's there in the business. Yeah.
And do you offer bolt-ons with every deal?
Yeah, for sure. And obviously it's a big part of your LTR bolt-ons. But yeah, there's certain ones that will be there every single time, and that's your capped rates, and obviously 24-hour replacement. The PCI is on there every single time, and I try to make sure as well that I do the advertising for them as well. View My Local, because it's a free bit of advertising. It's quite nice when they get the email to say Nat Ciccone's registered you for View My Local, £300 of advertising. That's quite a nice touch. So yeah, it works well.
And out of the support networks that you have available to you, which ones do you utilise or have you utilised in the last 8 weeks?
I think it's actually important to say Payment Centre are really good with their support. I've got 3 major avenues I can pick up the phone and then speak to at any point in time. The first is my mentor, and my mentor Graham has been fantastic. Every time I've picked up the phone, he's there, and he pretty much be able to answer any question that I've got. But I've also got my manager, Susanna, who's great, obviously for those things that Graham can't deal with. And if there's technical issues or something like that, she's great, goes away and deals with those. But I've also got sales support as well. So if I can't get the manager or my mentor online, then obviously I've got sales support there, and I do use them regularly.
If you could give one piece of advice to a new starter on the induction course, what would it be?
Simply put, get out there and do it. Because at the end of the day, once you've done your first deal, you've proven to yourself you can do it, and from there it's plain sailing, really.
moving forward now? Obviously, you had your goals, your short-term goals. What's your goal now with Payment Sense? Now you've
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly for me to reach that income level that I want to reach, obviously my next step is to take on a concession. So I'm looking in October, which is only 3 months after I've joined the company, to take on a concession of 5 people, and look to grow from there. Yeah, so that's the next step with Payment Sense.
Great. Good luck with that. Thanks, Nat.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.